Gentlemen of the press, my dear colleagues in the National Assembly and members of the National Assembly caucus from Benue State, good afternoon to you all. This is a text of our resolution and the press statement that is to be issued after our one-day retreat at the National Assembly, marking the end of the year as we leave the National Assembly to return in a few days' time to continue with our legislative business. The text of this statement is about the dictatorial conduct and poor leadership of His Excellency Reverend Fr.Alia, the Governor of Benue State, and the need for His Excellency President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR, to call Governor Alia to order. We, the undersigned, are members of the National Assembly caucus elected on the platform of APC, Benue State. Having watched with apprehension the absence of democratic leadership in Benue State in the last 6 months, exemplified by the arrogant and egocentric conduct of Governor Fr.Alia, APC in Nigeria, to seek their immediate intervention before the fortunes of APC in Benue State are totally destroyed by the Benue State Governor. It is necessary to state from the onset that we have collectively and individually drawn the attention of the leader of APC in Benue State, Senator Dr. George Akume, who is now the Secretary to Government of the Federation, and who has on several occasions pleaded for patience from us in the anticipation of a possible change of attitude from His Excellency Governor Fr.Alia. Rather than change for the better, Governor Alia has become more emboldened and has continued to treat us and the party in general in the most despicable, disgusting, disrespectful, and disingenuous manner. Gentlemen of the press, a background information on the status of APC in Benue State before now could be relevant at this juncture. Benue State APC, under the leadership of Dr. George Akume, as 2 times former governor of Benue State, 3 times senator, former minister, and now Secretary to Government of the Federation, had won elections and taken over power in Benue State in 2015 after APC was formed. Unfortunately, the then governor, His Excellency Samuel Otom, betrayed the party and defected to the PDP, thus opening the chapter of a temporary setback for APC in Benue State. Not daunted, Benue APC under Senator Dr. George Akume undertook a purposeful re-engineering of the Benue political landscape to reclaim her stolen mandate and return the state to the mainstream progressive politics in Nigeria. It is this now stronger APC that attracted Reverend Fr.Alia to desperately seek election on the party's platform. In retrospect, Fr.Alia only came to reap where he did not sow. In any case, you are well aware of the rejection of his candidacy by older members of the party, including litigations in several courts of law up to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. It took the stringent support of Dr. George Akume to extricate his candidacy from the destructive grip of his co-aspirants and eventual victory at the polls. Today, the ungrateful Fr.Alia, who had barely joined APC 2 months before the gubernatorial primaries assumes a messianic posture and tends to appropriate the victory of APC in Benue State as a product of his so-called popularity, without regard to the painstaking and systematic efforts of the existing formidable political structure which has enthroned all the former governors before him and himself inclusive. The question begging for answer is, why did this self-acclaimed popular priest not contest on the platform of either ABGA, PDP, or other smaller political parties in Benue State to test and affirm his self-acclaimed popularity? For clarity's sake, let us contextualize some of the dictatorial and egocentric tendencies of Governor Fr.Alia and his poor treatment of Benue APC in the last 6 months of his administration, including we members of the National Assembly. 1. The election of the Speaker of Benue House of Assembly. The position of the Speaker was zoned to the Jemba block of Benue Northwest Senatorial District, also called Zone B. Coincidentally, that is the birthplace of Senator Dr. George Akume. Whereas APC has 22 members out of the 32 members of the Assembly, Governor Alia connived with former Governor Gabriel Susam of PDP to produce a speaker different from the candidate preferred by APC. In the contest for the position of the speaker, Governor Alia held midnight meetings at the residence of Senator Gabriel Susam and got 10 PDP members to align with 7 recalcitrant APC members to beat the APC preferred candidate by a small margin of 2 votes. This began his unholy alliance with PDP to undermine and maltreat the legitimate members of APC in Benue State. 2. After the speakership debacle, the party again nominated and made a spread of principal officers of the Assembly comprising Majority Leader, Deputy Majority Leader, Chief Whip, and Deputy Chief Whip. Surprisingly, the Speaker joyfully agreed with the opposition party on all nominations from the PDP as endorsed by the state chairman of the party and secretary, but jettisoned the list submitted by his own party, the APC, and rather accepted the list that was unilaterally submitted to him by the governor through the governor's chief of staff. 3. It was an embarrassing experience for the party having to face the dejection in the hands of an administration it labored hard to install. However, the party submitted and sustained their faith in the governor and his government, even when they felt aggrieved and resorted to stand by the advice of the leader of the party, the SGF, whose counsel has always been for the party to pray for Governor Alia to succeed and to change from his undemocratic tendencies. 4. In the first meeting of the stakeholders that was held in Government House, the chairman of the party, Comrade Osenegada, publicly went on his knees and to accept blames, even though there were no blames, and apologized to the governor and party members, requesting that they put behind the state assembly imbroglio and come together to save the party. In the meeting, the governor hypocritically praised the leader of the party with a promise to always work together so that Benue and the party will enjoy democratic dividends. He also pledged that going forward, he will try to involve the party and other critical stakeholders, including us, members of the National Assembly, in all the sensitive decisions, particularly in the nomination of commissioners and local government caretaker chairmen as we move forward. A promise that is, however, kept in breach. 5. In appointing his commissioners, His Excellency Governor Alia again excised a sole description without recourse to the normal tradition of requesting for nominations from local governments and disregarded the zoning arrangements and permutations and went ahead to make his independent choices as he deemed fit. Again, the party did not oppose him, but rather accepted to play along with him in the following hope that Fr.Alia will change. 6. Why we do not support the dissolution of a democratically elected local government council. Fr.Alia again single-handedly and singly and privately appointed all the caretaker chairmen in the 23 local government areas of Benue State without recourse to the party, ESCO, nor any other stakeholder in Benue State, to the extent that even members of opposition have been appointed by him in total disregard of zoning and reward for performance in the last election. Surprisingly, when the nominations were forwarded, the governor went on, as I earlier said, and appointed whoever that he chose. Recall that the governor earlier requested the party leadership to nominate 3 persons per each local government, and that he would appoint from the 3 nominees from each local government. But the governor again threw away that list and appointed whoever he wanted, in total disregard of what has been the practice in Benue State. Number 7, disrespect to members of the National Assembly. Governor Fr.Alia, since assumption of duty, has not held any single meeting with members of the National Assembly who were elected on the same APC platform with him. Neither does he pick or return our telephone calls, not to talk of consulting them on political matters in the state. He has assumed the posture of a conqueror who does not care about the welfare nor the sensibilities of members of the National Assembly. In every other state of the Federation, members of the National Assembly are working in synergy with their governors to attract development from the center to their states of origin. This is not the case in Benue State. Governor Alia is running a one-man show. 8. Governor Alia has no known development blueprint for Benue State. As at the moment, nobody in Benue State is aware of the direction of his administration. What he practices is personal rule, and this is replicated by the lopsided appointments he has made in the state so far, with his immediate Kuna community cornering all the positions in his government. 9. The implications of this undemocratic rule in Benue State. The grave consequences of Governor Alia's personal rule is that the generality of APC members who are excluded and abandoned are beginning to lose faith in the APC-led administration in Benue State. Therefore, care must be taken to safeguard APC from this tyrannical leadership of Governor Alia, so as to prepare the party for the next round of elections. By Governor Alia's undemocratic attitude, activities, and posture, the fortunes of APC in Benue State are fast declining. The governor hires fake crowd and moves around in the state capital, giving the impression that the people are with him, whereas you all know that party politics in Nigeria is predicated on the shoulders of leaders from the world to the state, from the world to the local government to the states. It's not the crowd that you hire in the state capital that gives you the votes. We wish to request Mr. President to intervene before Governor Alia destroys APC in Benue State, and that is the resolution of the National Assembly Caucus, having risen from this one-day retreat. I want to thank all of you for listening. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
We want to thank all of you for attending this one-day retreat. You have listened to the leader of the caucus. We are here to support him and to endorse the statement that he has presented. And in doing that, I would like to expand on some of the issues raised in that address. First and foremost, I want to touch on the issue of nepotism. My name is Philip Agbese. I represent the good people of Fr.Alia Baribo Federal Constituency. And from the marginalized section of Benue State, the Idoma-speaking part of Benue State. It is very, very true that in time past, we have cried of marginalization, that the Idoma people have not been given the rightful position in the affairs of Benue State. But in the history of the state, we have not had it this bad under the current leadership of Fr.Alia. It is on this note, I want to say it is a crying shame that Benue State has become the personal property of one man who allocates government positions to his family members and friends. A man whose calling as a priest is to preach unity, fairness, and equity. Governor Fr.Alia has, instead of uniting the state and making it an example as a man of God that he should be and expected to be, has elevated nepotism and hatred against the Idoma-speaking people of Benue State to a statecraft and made corruption an instrument to be glorified. It will interest you to know that Governor Alia, since assumption of office on May 29, 2003, has embarked on skilled appointment, as majority of the key appointments have gone to his Kian state constituency, a part of Vadekia local government where Fr.Alia comes from. It is even believed in Vadekia local government area where Fr.Alia comes from that he is marginalizing the majority of that local government. Let me, for the purpose of emphasis, reel out the following appointments which Fr.Alia has made in his constituency, in his Kia state constituency within Vadekia local government area. Number 1, Abo Emmanuel Tile, Auditor General of the state. Dennis Akura, Special Advisor, Bureau on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Emmanuel Agema, Acting Chairman, Board of Internal Revenue from his Kia constituency. Grace Adagba, Chairman, Benue State Universal Basic Education Board, Subek, from his Kia constituency in Vadekia local government. Raymond Asemaka, MD, Benue Investment and Property Company Limited, BIPC, from his Kia constituency. Emmanuel Chenge, Principal Private Secretary, from his Kia constituency. James Yopu, Executive Secretary, State Emergency Management Agency, from his Kia constituency. Stephen Numeve, State Project Coordinator, Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, from his Kia constituency. Tenengo Mende, Acting GM, Urban Development Board, from his Kia constituency. Professor Gabriel Akpe, DG, Bureau of Special Projects and Infrastructure, from his Kia constituency in Vadekia local government. Leonard Ajelo Viashima, Head of Benue State International Cooperation and Development Coordinating Unit, from his Kia constituency. Jonathan Giose, Special Advisor, Poverty Alleviation, from his Kia state constituency. Isaac Akanga, Special Advisor, Local Government Market Coordination, from his Kia state constituency in Vadekia local government. Teve Aginde, Special Advisor, Politics and Community Engagement, from his Kia state constituency. Joseph Ha, Special Advisor on Internal Security, from his Kia state constituency. Fate Kaha Estofi, Senior Special Assistant on Culture, from his Kia constituency. Gwaza Ujamatu, SSA, Bureau Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, from his Kia state constituency. Julius Agbata, State Chairman, National Union of Road Transport Workers, appointed by the governor, first time in the history of Benue State for a governor to even be appointing the head of the Agberos, all from his Kia constituency. Now, this he has taken to only Kia constituency. Tell me, distinguished and fellow Nigerians, what is therefore left for the people of Zone C, the Idoma speaking side, where I come from? The glaring nepotism in the appointment has attracted widespread condemnation from all segments of the state who have seen the development as a slap on democracy. But that has not bothered the governor in any way. Before Governor Alia came into office, there was a long-standing tradition of carrying all stakeholders, including the state working committee of the political party in power and party elders, in the process of selecting people to be part of the government, either as cabinet members or as other political office holders. Governor Alia has seen as rubbish that process which has always made things easy and acceptable to the people in a democracy. Though he is a reverend father, we wonder why a man who had no political platform to pursue his ambition now has total disregard for the party that gave him the space and grant to launch his political career. He is now operating a one-man show without carrying even the cabinet members that he has appointed into office. Today, as we speak, Christmas is 4 days away from here. Even members of his cabinet are hungry. It is indeed sad that the Governor Alia's disregard for the party leadership comes with total disdain and insult, as he openly claimed that he practically helped the APC to power in Benue State. It may also interest you the level of financial mafias going on in the administration of Governor Alia. Many of you have seen, you have read on the pages of newspaper, even recently Sahara reporters, how much Governor Alia, a man of God, has spent on his personal vehicles. Nobody from the state to this moment has disproved that. If this level of corruption under Fr.Alia is not checked, this can crumble the economy of Benue State in the near future. As lawmakers, we are aware that huge sums of money have been accrued to Benue State in form of federal allocations, palliatives, and other interventions for the Tinubu administration since Governor Alia assumed power. But his lack of respect for due process, transparency, and accountability is again a blow on the state resources. Sadly, Governor Alia has not told anyone what has accrued to the state in the past 6 months and how he has expended the funds. He has remained silent on what the state wage bill is and has also dodged any inquiry into the state internally generated revenue. Benue allocation has tremendously increased, but there is nothing to show for it. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the middle of all this, the governor has been enmeshed in reckless spending and contract inflation. Even the prices of the refurbished buses, which he claimed to buy at over 3.5 billion naira as part of the money given to Benue State, following the removal of fuel subsidy as palliatives, were clearly inflated. We challenge him to come out clearly and disprove us. To give credence to that, he refused to tell the people how much each of the refurbished buses cost. Even the other items that were said to be given to the state by the federal government for distribution to the vulnerable to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal are suspected to have been diverted by his cronies. Governor Alia also approved a whooping 3 billion naira for the purchase of vehicles for himself and his cabinet members in an administration that rose to power on what we can boldly describe that rode to power with a promise to cut the cost of governance. The man has spent a mind-blowing 40 billion naira from sources on what we can boldly describe as frivolities without due process. The reckless mismanagement of funds meant for local government is another chapter that is worrisome and characteristic of Governor Alia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point I hereby wish to hand over the microphone to Honorable Achema Achado.
With all that has been said by our caucus leader, Senator Dr. Titus Zam, and my brother, Honorable Agbese, I only need to add that Fr.Alia has taken decisions without consulting us. I want to confirm that. And some of the decisions he has taken, giving very, very bad name to our. One of them is the dissolution of local government councils, elected local government councils. Yes, at the APC, the local government councils are PDP members. However, in governance, it is not just about party in all things we do. You need to do what is right. If the chairman had done anything wrong, what the governor is supposed to do is to prosecute Why are they prosecuted? And in all our local governments, there is no project by any local government. While local government councils in Benue State get an average of 150 million to 300 million monthly, I challenge the governor or anybody working for the governor to show me one project done by any local government in Benue State. There is no project. But we have a man of God who is the governor. Then is it not better to have a devil to be governor? So there are also interventions by the president, and Alia subscribes to himself for all these monies that the president has given without crediting the president to have given these monies. So we are totally in support of all that has been read here, and we are in line with what the caucus chairman and Dr. Bese. The other thing I need to add is that we in Gwe local government, we are worse off. In Gwe local government, there is no single appointment that Fr.Alia has made, not even a special advisor. Where I come from, we don't have a special advisor, we don't have a commissioner, but we had the 5th largest votes for APC for President Tinubu in the last election in Benue State. We came 5th, but we have nothing. I feel aggrieved. Thank you.
Well, I just want to align myself with the views of our caucus leaders here and my distinguished and honorable colleagues on the sad situation that we find ourselves in Benue State. And I'll just give a little background. When we got elected into the House of Reps and the Senate, Mr. President, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu invited the members of the National Assembly to a meeting in the presidency where we discussed areas of mutual cooperation and areas of harmony on how the National Assembly and the presidency can work harmoniously to bring development to Nigeria. Not just that, the president invited the entire National Assembly, including members of the PDP, to a meeting in the presidency where he spoke to us and created a harmony and sense of belonging for every member of the National Assembly. And this is what has transpired in the smooth running relationship between the executive arm of government and the legislature in Nigeria today. Mr. President also invited traditional rulers, captains of industry, and other aspects and other sectors of the Nigeria economy and social strata to discuss on the elected into power. The members of the National Assembly has not had the opportunity to have a forum with the governor to discuss areas of mutual benefits and areas of development on how members of the National Assembly can support Benue State and support his government to bring the much needed dividend of democracy to Benue State. It is unfortunate that personally I have tried several times to attract investments to Benue State, but unfortunately I have not had access to the governor, except on very rare occasions where he may, at his own wish, pick up calls from members of the National Assembly. And usually we are asked to liaise with some of his aides to have access to him. That means as members of the National Assembly, we don't have direct access to our governor. And many of us have been unable to partner with him in bringing some of the dividends of democracy that our people urgently need. And I feel that as a representative of my people of Kwando Ushongo, if I cannot access the governor, then automatically my people in my constituency have been cut off from accessing the governor, because I'm a representative of the people. So I should have direct access to the governor to discuss issues of both national importance as they affect our country, Nigeria, and to discuss issues that concern my people of Kwando Ushongo. But this has been completely lacking in Benue State so far. And that is why you see the continuous outcry by both stakeholders, elders, party chieftains, women, youth, cut across the entire Benue State. It has become a case of divide and rule in Benue State, and this is quite unfortunate. We are very sad about this. This is not how we expected it to be. This is not what we envisaged when we all campaigned and shouted, "Yes, Father," during the campaign trail. And today, it is difficult for us to even shout the "Yes, Father" that we all so gloriously screamed during the campaign season. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, I just want to encourage us to take these issues very seriously, and we hope that the presidency and our party will look into the issue of Benue State so that our people at this auspicious time in Nigeria will benefit from the government of APC at the federal level, at the state level, and even at the local government level. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sure most of you are aware that Makurdi Goma is the epicenter of banditry and Fulani herdsmen crisis. 80% of our people are in IDPs. Makurdi Goma, Gwegwe West, where my senator come from, and Logu, Uku, Kwande, where my senator represents, Senator Dende represent. The basis for which these people voted for Fr.Alia was his promise that after his election that they will go home. As I speak to you, most of these people are still in IDPs. Fr.Alia has never responded to my call when security issues occur, when killings by herdsmen occur in my area. No single phone call. We made efforts to speak to him as a caucus a day after his inauguration. He said he will do that the following week. It's been 6 months. We represent our people. We speak to them. We know their challenges. The only way the governor will know what is happening, first, for instance, in my council ward, is when he speaks to me. Because I speak to my people directly. I provide for them. That is why I was able to convince them to vote for him. He doesn't know anybody from my local government. And earlier won my local government in Guma when we had a sitting governor from my local government. He won that local government. So to suggest that he somehow, it's popularity that gave him votes, it's a lie. In my own election, I couldn't even go home. My election and President Tinubu's election, I couldn't go home for my election. It was his election that I had to go home and convince my people to vote for him. Benue is today run like a parish. Of course, we have a Reverend Father, but Benue is different. Benue is not a parish. It's not supposed to be run like a parish. The man came and increased his personal approval from 100 million from the other governor, 50 million, to 250 million. For 3 months, he didn't have commissioners. He was making approvals, dividing them, and awarding contracts. There is nothing to show for in Benue State in terms of infrastructure. The only benefits of democracy we have seen in the past 6 months is palliatives that the federal government under President Tinubu has given. You go to Benue, you see Benue Links buses. Those are even old buses that the governor used the money of palliatives to buy. It's not from Benue covers. He said he has frozen the account of Benue State for the past 6 months because the former government issued check. That's laughable. Most of you know how approvals and checks works in a government system. Nobody can go and present a check without confirmation from the issuing authority. Till today, as I speak to you, all the commissioners, all the ministries don't have overhead. You can find out from his appointees. There's no overhead. When he needs something, he calls the bank manager to open the account for a few hours. He takes out money, and then he freezes the account again. That's what is happening in Benue State. That is how do we run parishes. That is not governance. Do you understand? This is what is happening. There is no development anywhere in Benue. Nowhere. So tell me, we are here today on behalf of our people because we convinced them to vote for APC. That's why they voted. I speak as a coordinator of Mr. President during the primaries. Benue delivered Mr. President during the primaries 96%. I was coordinating Benue State during that time. And I know that people of Benue love APC. But what they have got in terms of governor is a terrible situation. Every APC person that voted earlier is regretting in Benue State today. I must tell you that. It's that bad. The security agencies led by Operation Wildstrom, who are posted in our villages to provide security for our people, don't have interventions, don't have time. The governor doesn't listen to any one of them, even when they go to see him. If you go to see a governor, you will wait for 3-4 hours. And what they will say, he's praying. Okay? That's what's happening in Benue today. You can find out for yourselves. Is that bad? Okay? We want to appreciate you people for taking time to listen to us. We will continue to say this. We are appealing to the president of our country to intervene in Benue State. Today, there is no governance going on in Benue. And our national chairman, His Excellency Governor Ganduje, needs to step up. APC is fast losing ground in Benue because of the bad governance going. Lastly, the chairman of my local government, the caretaker chairman of my local government, is a PDP person who worked against us during the elections. PDP member who worked against us during the election is now the caretaker chairman in my local government. I was not consulted at all as a member of the House of Reps representing that local government. That's what's going on in Benue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This